Hello, welcome to my channel, All the Things. My name is April. Today we are going to talk about depression. It is Mental Health Monday after all. So I am a master's level clinician. I am a licensed professional counselor. I have been practicing since 1993. With all of that being said, today is not about giving you information about depression and having you diagnose or diagnose anybody else. It is just what really is depression and what isn't it. And also, I'm going to give you some resources. So if you feel like you need some support, you have some options about where to go. Every single video I post, whether or not it's Mental Health Monday, I will always have the Suicide Prevention Lifeline number listed right below. So it's just a good number to put in your phone, because you never know who you're going to run into, who may need it at whatever time. So anyway, there's that. So let's talk about depression. Depression is not feeling sad. We all feel sad at some point. Sometimes we have yucky days. Sometimes we have like a yucky week, but depression is not that. Depression is, it has to honestly to meet the criteria for depression. Your sadness, if we're going to go back to that word, which has to last at least for 2 weeks. And it also has to change how you are functioning in your world. That may mean you're noticing differences in your behavior at work, at home, with or without friends, sleep patterns, all of that kind of stuff. So it is a long feeling of, quite frankly. And there's a continuum to that. Some people can have mild depression. Some people can have extremely severe depression. And not one of them is worse than the other. It's just where a person is at, and respecting that and not comparing depression with somebody who may be struggling is probably a good thing, right? We don't want to compare, well, when I was depressed, this is this is what worked for me, but no. If you're talking to someone and they're like, yeah, I just feel really depressed, and you're noticing changes in them even, don't do the comparison thing. It just never helps anybody. So anyway, that's just a little side note there. So when I said there has to be a noticeable change in how you function. That's exactly it. Sleep. Your sleeping may increase, right? Sometimes depressed people sleep 20 hours a day, or not. Some people with depression may experience insomnia and not be able to sleep at all. And if you're experiencing insomnia, that's a whole different ballgame, because you can be depressed from not sleeping. Sleep is incredibly important to how our body heals itself. So anyway, if you're not sleeping, go see your doctor. Because kind of a big deal. Also, your appetite. Some folks, when they have depression, will, try and feed the whole, right? Just there's something that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel right. And so they eat everything. There may be weight gain for people with depression. Again, with the continuum that depression is, so is the effect that it has on us. So you may not eat. You may notice that if a friend of yours is like, yeah, I'm just really depressed. Oh, well, maybe that's why they haven't been eating lately. So again, it can go on that continuum anywhere. Your activity level may change. If you or somebody is a runner, they might not be running. Maybe somebody who is generally very, hey, yeah, let's go, I'm totally in for everything, just kind of isn't in for it anymore. Or if you're that person, like, yeah, I really used to find joy in doing all this stuff and I'm not finding that anymore. Great reason to go talk to your doctor. Really great reason to go talk to your doctor if you're noticing a change in that. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not talk about suicidal ideation. People with depression may or may not have thoughts of hurting themselves. Of course, the biggest thing that they teach it in school, high school, they teach it in first aid classes, it is taught everywhere. If you are thinking about hurting yourself, get some help. If you are making a plan to hurt yourself, tell somebody so they can help you get help. If you feel you are in imminent danger of hurting yourself, just call 911. Call 911, go to the hospital, get some help. What often happens with folks in suicide, and I'm going to do a whole video on suicidal ideation, but it's a moment that somebody has that they can't seem to move past. And so we need to support somebody in getting past that, right? If so, like I said, if you are in a moment where you're feeling very much like you're going to hurt yourself, just call 911. And then call somebody who loves you and tell them what's going on, and they can go with you to the hospital, right? Just be safe. That's the whole thing. Depression can happen for many, many, many reasons. It's not grief, though. So let's say your best friend, your animal, dies. Your dog that you've had for 12 years, that will, of course, cause grief. But grief is different than depression. Depression is a continuous, awful feeling. And when someone you love or an animal you love dies, of course, grief feels continuous. The thing that changes about grief, though, is it sort of comes in waves. I remember when my dad died, I moved through it and all that. And one day I was just out taking a walk and I smelled him and just, whoa, totally lost it, which is fine, right? I mean, that's grief. It's just different than depression. With grief, we have moments of, yeah, I'm doing okay today, right? And depression, there just isn't that same sort of thing. So noticing that difference is really important. Also, you could just have a vitamin deficiency, and I say you, it's not you, but depression can be caused by a vitamin deficiency. It can be caused by thyroid issues. It can, of course, be caused by something going on in your world. There can be an organic imbalance in your brain. Serotonin, norepinephrine, all of those things that are floating around up there, working with all of your synapses and everything. Sometimes they get out of whack, and it's important to, if you are feeling different, if you're not feeling like your good old you, go to your doctor. Let them know. They can run blood tests for vitamins and thyroid and hormones and all of that kind of stuff. And if it is something like that, that is such a quick fix. And so it's great information to have. If you can rule all of those things out with your doctor, then your doctor can help you plan for a different type of care, which may be some type of chemical support, like an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, something along those lines. And they may suggest therapy. I'm a big believer in that. And I'm going to do an entire video on the different kinds of therapy, but talk therapy is, of course, the most often used, and it works, right? Being able to talk to a neutral party about what's going on in your life, about what changes you may want to make but don't know how to make. Therapists, we're pretty helpful in that. And it's so cool, I think, right now. And of course, I'm going to start talking about this, but one of the really great things about COVID, if I can say it, is that it has opened so many different possibilities for therapy. Many more therapists are now doing virtual meetings. You can do Zoom for therapy. You can do Talkspace for therapy, where you can text a therapist. You can email a therapist, or you can call them. You can do a video thing with them. There are just so many different options. And lots of times, people will use like a Talkspace kind of thing just because they're struggling with just a decision that they have to make. So they'll, text somebody and say, hey, this is what's going on, blah, blah, and they get mental health support that way, which I think is phenomenal. So anyway, it's important to know how prevalent depression is. And I have a little cheat sheet down here. If you see me looking down, it's because I don't want to mess anything up. I want to give you guys accurate information. 1 in 15 people, 1 in 15 will experience a diagnosable depression in any given year. 1 in 15 people. How many people do you know? Probably more than 15. So if you just look at the first 30 people that that come to your mind, within a year, at least 2 of them will probably experience some type of clinical depression. Now, whether they need support for it or not is a whole different ballgame, and that's just what it is. But and 1 in 6 people will experience depression in their lifetime. Again, a diagnosable depression that needs some sort of support for it. And yes, depression can be genetic. SHIT rolls downhill, and it is true for genetics as well. So if in my family, my grandma had anxiety, like huge anxiety. And my sister has anxiety, and my daughter has anxiety. And, so yeah, right on down the hill. So that's just part of how that goes. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. So, and when it's genetic, what can you do about it, right? You can talk to your doctor is what you can do. And that is going to be my big push for today is if somebody isn't feeling right, if you're not feeling right, if you're a little bit out of balance, go talk to your primary care physician. And they can do the Zoom thing for healthcare now too, which is amazing. Anyway, call them up, get an appointment, talk to your primary care provider. That's what they're there for. That is the first line of defense if you're not feeling right. Go see your PCP, talk to them, be honest with them. They're not going to judge you. They want to know how they can best support you. So primary care provider is, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about if people would just talk to their primary care provider so that they could be put on a treatment path that makes sense for them, because everybody is so completely different. After being a therapist for years and years and years and years, I can tell you that no 2 people have ever come to me and presented exactly the same way with depression. It's because we're all different, and it's okay. And if you're depressed, it's okay. There are ways to feel better. And again, your primary care physician can help you figure that out. A lot of the information I got today, I go to all different sites all the time, but psychiatry.org is a great place if you just want to kind of do a little research on whatever kind of mental health, anything. They have everything on there. And I think it's great to be knowledgeable about mental health. It's not about knowing how to fix everything, but yeah, to, look at something and go, that's kind of cool information to have. So yeah, educate yourself about mental health. We can help people who are struggling with mental health, and especially in the time of COVID, statistics I gave you earlier about 1 in 6 people in their lifetime will experience a diagnosable depression. I'm a psych nerd, sorry, but I'm so looking forward to some studies that'll be coming out about how COVID has actually affected the rates of depression, people seeking help for depression. I'm really interested in those studies and seeing how COVID has impacted our mental health in a tangible way, right? You know, numbers, data, always good. Data. Don't get mad at me if you say it one way or the other. I'm a data girl. All right. So anyway, that's it for today. Please take a look in the description box down below so you know what is going on the rest of the week here on All the Things. And again, please, if you are thinking about hurting yourself, just stop what you're doing. Call 911, get some help. The suicide prevention Lifeline number, it will always be listed down below also. And call your PCP if you have questions about anything that's going on in your life. That's what they're there for. Let them support you. You're paying them. So yeah, let them support you. Also, your community mental health is a great, your county mental health is a great place to go if you feel like you might need some support. So anyway, take care, be blessed, and I will talk with you soon. Bye.